What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are in the shop and we're going to be putting a locker in the TJ. So if you watched any of the footage from Uwari where we took the TJ up there, where's it at? Right there. The front locker worked great, but the rear we were told had a limited slip, and either I think that it does not have a limited slip or it is completely destroyed because I thought if it had a limited slip that it would spin together, but I don't know. But either way, we're putting a locker in it. And yes, my shop is still a complete mess. I really haven't had time to clean it just because I've been working on projects and stuff like that. I'm really trying to get these Jeeps that come in my shop turned around back to the owners and everything like that. So sorry if you see my messy shop. And then I've got our little podcast table behind us. So we started doing a podcast. It's called Bolts and Brews. So maybe I'll put a link or something in there. It's just the guys from the Jeep event. We get around and talk junk to each other, and we do that anyway, so we just decided to record it. But the locker that we are going with is a Spartan locker for an 8.8. So we did previously in the videos put an 8.8 in the rear of that Jeep, and so far it's great except for it's missing a locker. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting the wheels and tires off of this, and then probably drain the oil. First thing that I'm gonna do is drain the oil. And what's nice about these Yukon diff covers is that they have a drain plug so you can get the majority out of it. Good. It's kind of metallic-y, but it'll be all right. So I'm going to let this drain a few minutes while I get ready for everything, and then we'll go ahead and pop the diff cover off. So while that's still kind of trickling out, I'm going to go ahead and break these loose. So once I break them loose, I can take my impact and go ahead and bust them on out. Now, I left the top bolt, that way it would go ahead and separate without falling. Sick. So in order to get the axle shaft out, you actually have to remove the brake caliper, the rotor, and everything like that. So that's what I'm going to start on. Start removing these bolts right here. So now that those bolts are out, I can take this and just kind of try to find a happy spot for it.
Happy place.
It's pretty happy right there. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I have to take the cross pin out in order to get the C-clips out. And in order to do that, you have to take an 8mm wrench and put right here and just pull back. And just be very careful with these because I have seen these strip, and that is a huge pain in the butt. But this bolt, what it does, it goes all the way through this cross pin right here and holds it in place. So, in my opinion, I like this style a lot better than the ones where you have to drive in a dowel pin. Those are super annoying. I like the bolts. So there's the bolt right there, and you can see it's got the threads right there where it threads into this, and that shaft right there is what holds that dowel pin in. So now I'm going to try to reach my hand in here, see if I can just massage that out. There is just enough clearance to get it out on the ring gear. I mean, I don't think you could put a business card in between that, but either way, got it out. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this around. Kind of push those spider gears back. I guess it doesn't matter, but I'll probably just go ahead and get those out of the way. So there's the spider gears right there. Try to get this other one out. So next I'm going to take the axle shaft and just kind of push it out. And look at there. There's your C-clip right there. I hope y'all can see that on camera. So that's it. Super simple. But now you can just push that all the way out. Not all the way out, but you can push the axle shaft out just enough to where you hear it fall into the axle tube. So pretty simple. So now I'll do the same thing to this side. Just push it in and pull that right back out. There's the second one. And now I'll just push the axle tube out just to where I hear it hit the tube there. Actually, I can go and take all the spider gears out. All right. So at this point, what I'm going to do is take some brake cleaner and just clean everything as good as I can before I put the locker in. Just kind of let it drip into the pan there. See all that gunk that's coming out the bottom? That would have just gone right into the locker there, so you definitely don't want that. So I'm going to take this clean rag and just see if I can just get out as much as I can. There's a little valley down here that catches a lot of gunk. See, look at that. Gross. Now I'll take a cleaner rag and just go back over everything. See, I'm still getting some gunk out here. You want to try to make this the cleanest process as possible. Just take your time and just clean. Oops. You need to hold on to that. So here is everything that comes in the box, just kind of laid out. So obviously you have your cross pin, the locker, and then you have these pieces right here. And so what you do is you pop the little springs in, just like that. Yeah. And so what these are, these go in those holes right there to hold down the spring. So you see that little piece right there? It holds down the spring and compresses it, and that way whenever you get it in the Jeep, you can just pop them right out, and then the spring will go into the other piece, and that's kind of what makes the locker lock. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right here, I've got the spring. I'm going to put it in there, just like that. And then take this little dowel pin, stick it in there. See, now it's compressed. And so what you do when you get it in the Jeep is you pull this out, and then this puts tension on the other side. So you got 4 of these. I'm going to take one side of the Spartan locker, put that in, and then I'm going to push the axle shaft back in. So now I'm going to put my C-clip back on, and I'm going to put the C-clip on like this. That way, hopefully it won't fall off. Now I'll push that as far that way as it'll go. Take my spacer, put right there, just like that. Hopefully it'll stay. And then I'm going to very carefully put this in. Just like that. Hopefully that'll stay. I'm going to repeat the same process on the passenger side. Oh, don't you do it. Let's get that in. So on the passenger side here, you've got to, before you put the C-clip on, you have to put both of these, the spacer and the middle part in. Slowly slide that in. So you have to push everything over as far as you can and try to get that C-clip in between right here. And that does take a little bit of finagling here, but there is room. So in order to get the second C-clip on, just take a screwdriver and push that spacer over, and then there's a flat spot right here where you can just slowly just kind of hold it. And it'll push right in. Got it. And then you can test it by pulling trying to pull the axle shaft out, just to make sure. I can visually see in there that it's on, but I don't know, weird, but just you can pull on the axle shafts just to make sure that it's seated properly. So now I've got these kind of lined up, I'm going to start pulling these dowel pins right here. You hear it click, so that one just seated into this other side here. So now I'll pull this one out. Oh baby, look at that. See, went right in. And now, just kind of get this locked in. I'm going to have to spin it just a little bit. way it locks in on the opposite side there. See that one, that little dowel pin right there is not letting it seat, so need to get those out of the way. So now I'll be able to kind of spin it just like that. Aha! Perfect. Alright, so now I'll spin, let's see, I need to go this way. So now I've got the hole right there, then I'll just spin that to where the hole lines up right here, and I can put the new dowel pin in. Oh, that was very satisfying. And then I'll take the new bolt, just verify that it does have some Loctite on it, and just send that in, get that started. And then this one is also 8mm. And you want to crank down on this pretty good. Alright, so give it another spin just to verify everything is right, and we have a locker in. So what I'll do now is I'll probably clean everything up one more time just because I've got nasty hands, and then we'll get the cover back on and get everything buttoned up, and we'll be ready to go. Alright, so now I'm going to be putting some gear oil in now that I have everything done. And I'm going to be putting in some 85W140. Should be good enough. I looked it up online and it said it was safe to use with this locker, so good enough for me. If somebody on the internet said it was cool, good enough. Alright, so looks like I have succeeded in putting the correct amount, which is good because it's all the gear oil that I had in my shop. So that's pretty cool. Just going to tighten this up. All right, got that. I'm just gonna clean up a mess here, make my diff cover look pretty. All right, so that's pretty much everything for getting the locker in. The Jeep is back on its own weight. The locker works, I verified that. So So now this Jeep is locked front and rear, which is really cool, and it's going to be a game changer. So now all I have to do is get the seats and some of the interior stuff back in, and we'll be ready to go test this thing out. So I couldn't install a locker in this Jeep and not bring it out here to the fairgrounds right down the road and test it out. So I drove it here, everything drove fine, the Jeep drove great, especially with that anti-rock in the front. Holy crap, that definitely changed the way this Jeep rides. Man, this thing looks really good. Oh, and check this out. Got a Mopar Jeep sticker for the back, like the J10 style. Just kind of something to break up all that gray and silver in the back. All right, so now we're going to get this thing in 4-low. We don't have to disconnect the sway bar in the front anymore, so that's really cool. And we're gonna do some of these deep holes. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I really appreciate y'all watching me put the locker in this 8.8 in this 1998 Jeep TJ. If you don't mind, hit that like button and make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on any other content on this build. And anyway, we'll see you on the next one.